was wrought like the brim of a cup, with flowers of lilies. It contained 2,000 baths. And he made 10 bases of brass, 4 cubits the length of one base, and 4 cubits the breadth thereof, and 3 cubits the height of it. And the work of the bases on this, they had borders, and the borders between the ledges, and on the borders that between the ledges lions, oxen, and cherubims, and upon the ledges a base above, and beneath the lions and oxen certain additions made of thin work. And every base had 4 brasen wheels, and plates of brass, and the 4 corners thereof had undersetters, under the laver undersetters molten, at the side of every addition. And the mouth of it within the chapiter and above a cubit, but the mouth thereof round the work of the base, a cubit and an half, and also upon the mouth of it gravings with their borders, foursquare, not round. And under the borders 4 wheels, and the axletrees of the wheels to the base, and the height of a wheel a cubit and half a cubit. And the work of the wheels like the work of a chariot wheel, their axletrees, and their naves, and their felloes, and their spokes, all molten. And 4 undersetters to the 4 corners of one base, the undersetters of the very base itself. And in the top of the base a round compass of half a cubit high, and on the top of the base the ledges thereof and the borders thereof of the same. For on the plates of the ledges thereof, and on the borders thereof, he graved cherubims, lions, and palm trees, according to the proportion of every one, and additions round about. After this he made the 10 bases, all of them had 1 casting, 1 measure, 1 size. Then made he 10 lavers of brass, 1 laver contained 40 baths, every laver was 4 cubits, upon every one of the 10 bases 1 laver. And he put 5 bases on the right side of the house, and 5 on the left side of the house, and he set the sea on the right side of the house eastward over against the south. And Hiram made the lavers, and the shovels, and the basons. So Hiram made an end of doing all the work that he made King Solomon for the house of the Lord, the 2 pillars, and the bowls of the chapiters that on the top of the 2 pillars, and the 2 networks, to cover the 2 bowls of the chapiters which upon the top of the pillars, and 400 pomegranates for the 2 networks, 2 rows of pomegranates for 1 network, to cover the 2 bowls of the chapiters that upon the pillars, and the 10 bases, and 10 lavers on the bases, and 1 sea, and 12 oxen under the sea, and the pots, and the shovels, and the basins, and all these vessels, which Hiram made to King Solomon for the house of the Lord, bright brass. In the plain of Jordan did the king cast them, in the clay ground between Succoth and Zarthan, and Solomon left all the vessels, because they were exceeding many, neither was the weight of the brass found out. And Solomon made all the vessels that unto the house of the Lord, the altar of gold, and the table of gold, whereupon the shewbread, and the candlesticks of pure gold, 5 on the right, and 5 on the left, before the oracle, with the flowers, and the lamps, and the tongs gold, and the bowls, and the snuffers, and the basins, and the spoons, and the censers pure gold, and the hinges gold, for the doors of the inner house, the most holy for the doors of the house, of the temple. So was ended all the work that King Solomon made for the house of the Lord. And Solomon brought in the things which David his father had dedicated, the silver, and the gold, and the vessels, did he put among the treasures of the house of the Lord. This content was provided by angelotricarico.com. Subscribe to the channel for more stories.